Item 8 is affordable housing commuted sum. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you, Chair. The report has been brought together following changes to the definition of affordable housing introduced through the recent Planning and Housing Act. The changes mean that affordable rent is no longer included and instead focuses on starter homes, rent to buy, and to a lesser degree shared ownership. This is already resulting in contact being made with officers at the Borough Council from developers unable to engage with registered partners in order to deliver the Section 106 Affordable Homes ratio. Supplementary planning guidance documents, AFSPD, okay, that sets out our current affordable housing supplementary planning guidance. There is no longer any grant funding for affordable rent from the Housing and Communities Agency, and this has resulted in registered providers being uninterested in working on Section 106 sites to deliver this product. The Council's Strategic Housing Manager, who is here and will answer any technical questions, I'm sure, is concerned that applicants registered for housing in this borough are unable to access mortgages and therefore starter homes are unlikely to meet the needs of all of our people with a housing need. Of the 3,000 applicants registered on Home Hunt, currently only 150 have indicated that they're in full-time work. If starter homes and shared ownership are unable to meet the housing needs for the borough, consideration needs to be given to seeking commuted sums in lieu from developers. That is actually part of our existing policy, and I think we are being open and transparent in bringing this document before Cabinet tonight to point out that there may be a possibility to use more of it. Commuted sums will continue to be the least preferable option where affordable rent can be delivered and or to some extent degrees of shared ownership. And I just want to ask Jodie for passing for anything else, whether or not indeed we will only use commuted sums in exceptional circumstances where we cannot obtain a Section 106.
Absolutely, yes, it always will be last resort.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Conduct.
Thank you, Chair. The government seems determined to wreck affordable rented housing. Affordable rented housing is so important in areas of low income. Yeah, there's a large number of people in this town who will never manage to raise enough to actually even buy a fraction of a shared ownership. And even for those that will eventually have a good, well-paid job, in their early years, everyone to their 20s or to their 30s who do afford a house need time to actually build up deposits and get a secure job. So the government is doing absolutely dreadful things to the housing market. I'm a passionate believer in letting people and encouraging people to buy their homes, but they have to be able to do it. You can open the door to people with money, but the people who have the money to buy a house, they're stuck. So I understand the problems the council has, and I'm angry at the government for forgetting all the people who do need to rent. On the details of it, one of the things that really seems very good value for money on this list is bringing empty homes back into use. It is such a no-brainer. We have about 1,500, 1,600 empty homes in this borough. We will always have 700 or 800 because homes, people die, things need to be turned over. But we have a core of around 700, 800 probably of long-term empty homes. And if we could only get 100 or 200 of those back into use, that is actually good for absolutely everyone. And so I do hope it's moved either higher up the list or realising that actually an empty home can be brought back into use for £5,000 or £10,000 loan or small sums of money compared to the 50, hundreds of thousands you need to start doing some of the other interventions. And empty homes, I say, it's just such a waste of a resource. We have, say, 1,500 at least empty homes, rotting, cold, while we have people on the waiting list. And I keep saying about the waiting list, we may have 3,000 people on the waiting list, that doesn't mean we have 3,000 homes. Some of them have homes, they're just not the right homes. So actually starting to create usable empty homes actually then makes the system work as well, because Some of those people will then free up other accommodation and we start getting a win-win. And of course, getting empty homes back into use is so much quicker than building a house. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions to Councillor Kondaka? Thank you very much. Right, are there any comments on the report? Councillor Arlington.
Thanks, Chair. I'm glad that Jane gave us that assurance that it would be the last thing, because I think we all agree that isn't our preference to be doing this. I think we'd all agree that we would want to build or have affordable housing. I think we'd all agree we want to build more council houses, but that's never going to happen in my lifetime, I don't think. I'm the youngest one on the cabinet. Sorry to put that on.
Come on.
I've had 15 years as well. So I think we would want to build our own houses, but in lieu of that, we should be urging and we should be pushing developers to have affordable rented accommodation for people to. Not everyone wants to own their own homes. I think this government, thinks that everyone can afford and wants to afford to own their own homes. That's quite clearly not true. So I'm glad that Jane gave us that assurance that that will be the last on the list, if you like.
Well, despite the pessimism there of Councillor Arlington, I'm pleased to say that this council is one of the few in the country that has been able to build council houses through careful management of resources that many other authorities have just found impossible to do. And it's a credit to councillors and officers alike that we have, obviously not enough, but we have made a good start in building council houses. New start on building council houses that we all thought was finished. And I'm sure, although you say it will not be in your lifetime, I'm sure we shall be trying to build a few more in the next few years, Councillor.
I hope, Chair.
Councillor Lloyd.
Yeah, just to follow on from Councillor Alderton and what he was saying, I think one of the biggest problems out there at the moment is wages. A lot of youngsters are in the unfortunate position where they're on zero contracts or they're on low wages and they cannot get on the housing ladder even with two wages coming into the property. And I don't think the government is looking at the issues that are around that to get those people on. It's all right preaching that everybody should purchase their own house and be a house owner, but they're not it's not capable, it's not practical, they can't do it, and we need those rented accommodations. These people, some of them can't even get this shared ownership because they just can't get on the housing ladder. So it is a must that we continue in some way of providing, even in a limited way that this council is doing it from building council houses, private or council rented accommodation. Because if we don't, the homelessness is going to go up, and it will go up, and people are going to get into more poverty, and it's going to drive it down, and we're going to end up in a worse position than we are now. It was hard in the 80s when I bought my house, but it's a lot harder now than what it ever was in the 80s. I remember holding 3 jobs down to purchase a property in the 80s, but I managed to do it, and I managed to get those jobs, but the jobs were just not there at the value that they were when I was around in the 80s purchasing my property. It's difficult out there, it's nearly impossible for some kids. I feel for the lot of them, and unfortunately we can only do our little bit, and our little bit is not enough for what needs doing. A lot more needs doing for rental accommodation.
Just for information, Chair, we have actually brought several empty homes back into usable states so that they can actually provide housing, and I think that's something we should be celebrating as a council, and I think we should circulate information in regard to that to all elected members, so they do know the very good work actually that officers have been undertaking in regard to empty properties being brought back into a usable state. I celebrate, as councillors have already said, about the new homes that we now have in various areas of the borough that are, I think, providing high quality council housing for needy families in our borough. But I have to say that there seems to be a conscious assault on supplying social housing in our community from central government. I think that is incredibly regrettable, as house prices have gone up astronomically compared to wages, as I think Ian was saying, and also young people nowadays are burdened with extra debts compared to the generation I grew up with, student loans, etc., etc., which are making it even more difficult to save, to get a deposit on your own home. I think for lots of tenants, social housing is the type of housing of choice, and it should be enabled to be a choice option for people in our borough, where that is the right thing for them to do. I hope members will support the report in front of you. It will only be used as a last resort, but I think it is just acknowledging the current situation and the changes of government legislation.
Thank you. We're all in favour then of agreeing to the report. Thank you very much.